You're now listening to the best music. Feel the freshness. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Here is Andrew Robinson, your Jamaican brother, all the way in Switzerland. And I'm reaching out to all of our brothers and sisters on the African continent. 1 hour of the hottest tracks and coolest mashups of the year. You're now listening to the best music. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Here is Andrew Robinson, your Jamaican brother, all the way in Switzerland. And I'm reaching out to all of our brothers and sisters. You're now listening to the best music. You're tuning into Feel the freshness.
Welcome, family, to Let's Talk with Everton. This beautiful March 31st. You've basically made it to the end of the month. Look at you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Remember, we always talk about redefining Africans as we redefine ourselves. I hope you had a restful weekend. You basically took time to rest, spending time with your family and friends. But welcome again to the Black Hot Fire Radio Network, where we'll talk about redefining Africans, the awakened fundamental truth, as you download our app on the Google Play Store. Stream on www.blackhotfireradionetwork.com for amazing, healthy conversation, uplifting conversation to basically keep you updated what's happening, what has been happening. And also remember to download our app to get yourself healthy, amazing supplements. And also the apparel clothing with the Black Hot Fire Radio logo on it. We have t-shirt, beanie hats, sandals, lights, shorts with the Black Hot Fire Radio logo on it. Remember, you are the change you need to see in the world. Ira Star with Commerce all the way on her new hit.
Feel the freshness.
Welcome, family, to Let's Talk with Everton. It's your girl, the lovely Everton Longoria, here on the Black Hot Fire Radio Network. Before we move forward, remember we always have a nudge of some of the supplements we do have for you to give you a hint of what we're definitely offering for you on the supplement sector. Let's listen in to the health and benefits of multivitamin.
Fuel your body with complete multivitamin, the perfect balance of essential nutrients for daily health and wellness. Carefully formulated from natural ingredients, our multivitamin packs vitamins A, C, D, E, plus key minerals like zinc and magnesium to support your immune system and boost energy. Just 1 tablet a day is all you need. Take it with water and feel the difference as prescribed by your healthcare provider. Stay active, stay strong, stay ready with Complete Multivitamin, your daily dose of vitality. Complete Multivitamin, simple, powerful nutrition. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition store.
$92.90. Super affordable, and you can get other supplements. We have 4 different categories: the vitamins, the naturals, the beauty, and the beverages. Remember, you can definitely order whatever is into your liking. Before I move forward, there's an amazing inspirational that I found on about spirituality, mostly about it. It's a lady actually who I definitely who came for an interview here regarding mental health. But she's more about nature, about connecting to the source. And this is something that she actually posted. The whole point of the physical experience is the expansion beyond that which is. That's why eternity is eternal. That's why there is something more than now, because the now will foster the desire that non physical energy will answer. That's why there is eternally more, always has been, always will be. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful the end of March. And as we're beginning this April, I hope you're super excited. You're gonna be intentional, be focused. Also, you're gonna be joyous because joy is from within. You're gonna be talking about echoes of Africa today, more about the legacy that slavery left, and also more about colonialism and also the miseducation that we got from whatever happened. And more about this, PLO Lumumba will definitely give us a hint on how this happened. And I believe it's something we're always going to be agreeing with because we talk more about it here on the Black Heart Fire Radio Network, where we talk about the awaken and how we can redefine ourselves as we redefine Africa. And also more about it, we're going to be talking more about feminism, right? In regards to how that affected, or basically from the perspective of Africans and how it affected Africans. But before that, let's talk more about miseducation of the Negro in regards to echoes of slavery. Let's listen in.
Slavery, as we already know,
I like the banger that it starts, like Lumumba explains. That's fire.
there is not a society where there was no slavery of some kind. Whether you go to the European tribes, or you go to the Asian tribes, or even the Chinese, or within Africa, there was a sense in which, as people fought, they also enslaved others and used them as labor, and ultimately they became incorporated in their societies. But those were very low key slavery, that was very low key slavery or enslavement at that time, whether the Germanic tribes were enslaving the Romanic tribes, whether the Slavs were enslaving their others, and the Mongolians and that kind of thing, or in China, whether there was enslavement within Africa. We know the many fights between Temne and Mende, the Congo Empire, where they were enslaving others. That was there. But the slavery that we ought to focus on, and which has preoccupied human historians, was what was initiated in the 15th to the 16th century and ultimately led to the transatlantic triangle. Because prior to that, the engagements were very commercial. I read about how the Congo Empire, the Portuguese came and took some Congolese leaders and took them to Lisbon, and they were friends, and after 4 years they came back. But something happened. And when the gun was discovered, it became a source of power for European powers. And you now begin to see, particularly when Europe is agrarian and they need labor. Remember, there are no tractors, and even when there are other implements, the ox is being used as an instrument, of the horse. You
And
need.
we have to understand that Africa brought civilization to Europe before he continues in regards to what he's saying that there was nothing going on in Europe. I want to play a short video to give us an understanding of everything that he's saying right now, and something that basically Keith is always loud on right away. I found this amazing short video that makes basically uh I think she's an European woman explaining all the facts. And I want all the Africans to understand this because it's literally in your faces. Like he's someone telling you that you are the greatest of all time. He's someone telling you that you are the origin of civilization. This is someone telling you that you have to own who you are and stop idolizing other people and understand the power that you do have.
White people came to Africa. They came showing themselves as superior to the black people, digging out things that black people taught them. You know, what we don't have in our history books is that the civilization we have in Europe today was brought to us by black people. Even black people don't know that. Even many black people don't know that. They don't know that the Moors, they were West Africans and North Africans and Central Africans that came to Europe. And
Is it like amazing in a way? Like there's a European lady who knows our history, but there's a person literally there who's an African who doesn't know their history.
ruled Spain. They brought civilization to us. They showed us how to use soap, how to be clean, how to behave like a decent human being, you know? All these things we didn't know that before the Moors brought civilization to Spain. Did you know that the Moors ruled in Spain for 700 years?
700-year decades of indoctrination by school history books, finding a narrative that the West was the origin of all things good and civilized means many Westerners have no idea that it's actually Africans who gave them some of the greatest cultural and intellectual achievements known to humanity. And we're talking advances in farming, talk about agriculture, astronomy, mathematics, geography, hygiene, as she said it, architecture, art, and philosophy. And much of this was brought up from North Africa by the Moors, who conquered and ruled what is now Spain, Portugal, and for 700 years. This is a European lady telling you about your history. Is that not funny?
Where is that in our history books? It's nowhere to be found. Because why? If you are giving black people that power of having once ruled over white people, wouldn't black people start like kind of questioning, oh, we were once at that point of having such a power in a white man's country over white people, and where are we now? So of course they have to hide that history from you people, because knowing your true history is knowing your true power, and knowing your true power means you will break out from that system of racism. When white people came to Africa, they came showing themselves as superior to the black people, digging out things that black people taught them. You know, what we don't have in our history books is that the civilization we have in Europe today was brought to us by black people. Even black people don't know that. Even many black people don't know that. They don't know that the Moors, they were West Africans and North Africans and Central Africans that came to Europe and ruled Spain. They brought civilization to us. They showed us how to use soap, how to be clean, how to behave like a decent human being, you know? All these things we didn't know that before the Moors brought civilization to Spain. Did you know that the Moors ruled in Spain for 700 years? Where is that in our history books? It's nowhere to be found. Because why? If you are giving black people that power of having once ruled over white people, wouldn't black people start like kind of questioning, oh, we were once at that point of having such a power in a white man's country over white people, and where are we now? So of course they have to hide that history from you people, because knowing your true history is knowing your true power, and knowing your true power means you will break out from that system of racism.
Inferiority complex that is literally going on. And I know someone will be watching this video and you're still gonna be not believing yourself because of the inferiority complex and the mind indoctrination. But as we move forward, before Lumumba continues that video to actually back it up with what he's saying, we have another video here regarding Hitler and Leopold.
Hitler kills 2 million white people. He's the most evil man that ever lived. Leopold kills 20 million Africans. He still does not appear on the list of the most wicked people that ever lived on the earth. There must be something wrong with this narrative. Totally something wrong with that narrative. It can be right by day, by night, by numbers, by mathematics, by ethnography. It cannot be right. That the whole world watches the massacre of black people and says nothing. Hitler kills 2 million.
Shows you how we've been rated in the world. It shows you how you and I are basically being shattered in the universe. But the fact that I've given you all the pointers regarding that you are the most greatest person of all time, hearing also from someone else who knows much of your history than you do, makes you actually question yourself in regards to understanding and being curious about your identity.
And now begin to see, particularly when Europe is agrarian, and they need labor. Remember, there are no tractors, and even when there are other implements, the ox is being used as an instrument, or the horse, you needed human labor. Then you suddenly discover that the black man is capable of withstanding certain environmental realities which the Caucasian cannot, which the Asian cannot, and therefore you have found a gem, you found gold in the form of human, and you begin to use it. And those who have gone to the United States of America and are in the business of farming, because suddenly the Caucasians have also gone to the United States of America and into Latin America. And if you go into those areas, they decimated the populations. If you go to the Caribbean, they decimated the Arawakans completely. They decimated the American indigenous Americans, whom they mistook for Indians, and that's why they call them the Red Indians. And then the trade started in earnest, the transatlantic trade, where, as we know, no less
what
than...
I believe is, before he continues, in regards to sending labor to Europe because they didn't have any, in regards to the mind indoctrination that we've been seeing are still there right now, whatever, I know it has been there, but even right now, the fact that we have a generation that is trying to break out of our system that is not literally working for us because it was designed not to work for us. Whatever you are, we are a component of whatever covers you or leads you. We have leaders right now that are so desperate for finances. Let me talk about wealth in regards to what they are being given by the other nation or by the world out there. But I know they know what's really happening in regards to they want collaboration with us, but it's not really collaboration. It's basically an agenda to come and take and steal and erode. And also we have people backing them up, pushing for the narrative that we have these leaders because they're so blinded. They don't see what's really the main thing or the main agenda. And the fact that people are super blinded, that they trust their leaders so much, understanding they're not going to lead them into a pit hole. We have also a generation of people like that. Yes, the youth can be super woke right now. I definitely believe that. But also we have another group of people that are diehard fans of leaders who are literally in this position for their own benefits. We have a problem between the two generations, but I can say there's hope. There's hope with this generation because we are not communing in terms of tribalism. That's a good thing.
And 12 million people taken largely from the western coast of Africa and even southern Africa, from Angola, some from Mozambique, from Ghana, and that general coast, Gambia, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Democratic Republic of Congo. And all these individuals are being transported, some to Europe, but largely we find them in what is now the United States of America and in Latin America and in the Caribbean. And they are used to farm. Remember, that is the period when farming, cotton farming, sugar cane, soya, groundnuts, and all these things are being grown in that part of the world to feed Europe. To feed Europe during different phases of famine, whether it's the Irish potato, that the famine in Ireland, whether it is feeding people during the so-called World War I, whether it's feeding people during those difficult times, it is Africans who constitute labor. And when Europe begins to industrialize, once again, you need labor. When you start talking about the building, construction of railways, the subways in Europe, particularly in the United Kingdom, in England, you are taking slaves that had been taken to the Caribbean, and you take them now from Jamaica and those parts of the world to the United Kingdom. So you have a population of people from Africa, from different nations, who are de-ethnicized. Their language is taken away. Their culture is taken away. Their spirituality is decimated. Their names are taken away. Families are destroyed. They become breeders of even more labor. You have children, and then those children are torn away from you, and you never know where they go, and they become labor in some part of the world. I mean, there is, if you talk about man's inhumanity to man, you see the way we breed chicken now, the way we breed cows now, the way we breed horses now, that is the way Africans were dealt with by the enslavers in the United States and in Europe and in the Caribbean. That's how they were dealt with. And when you are dealt with like that over a period of no less than 400 years, the impact is devastating. And that impact is alive and well. So that even when people talk about the emancipation,
I believe it's basically the amusement of how can these people be so brilliant and be so civilized, the fact that there was this brilliant intelligence and everything going on for you. You have everything in your land that breeds jealousy, that breeds envy and wickedness. And the fact that someone wants to take that away from you by every bit of it and make you remember that you are nothing, which is a lie, but to make themselves feel better about themselves, someone has to make you feel like you're nothing. They have to stomp over you. They have to scrape everything that identifies with your power. And that's how we see what happened. And the fact that a lot of people did not remember, or basically a lot of our history has not really passed away like that, or also the reason why I can say it was past, I can actually counter that, but the fact that the remembrance about it was actually scraped off and new systems were actually created for the next generations and the other generation not to remember a thing about who they are, but the fact that the system, talk about the educational system, the political system, it's all about us learning that the globalists are better. The globalists brought education to us, they brought civilization to us, which is not true. But the wickedness that comes from it, that someone does not want you to remember about who you are, your identity, and your culture, also comes from fear of them actually going back to who they were. That's why their feet is still in Africa.
In the 19th century, when you talk about emancipation, whether it is in Europe, emancipation, and then you stop slavery and slave trade, really nothing dramatic has changed. As Martin Luther King Jr. used to say, you free a man and you tell the man or woman to lift themselves by their bootstraps, and they have no boots. You free men and you tell them we are going to give you 40 acres and a mule, and you don't give them 40 acres and a mule. That is the state in which the people we now call African Americans in the United States of America And the people we know who are of African origin in the Caribbean and in Latin America or South America or wherever they are to be found, the impact on them is devastating. They hear about a distant land where their ancestors came from, but they have no connection with that land. Some of them hear that they may have been Igbo or Yoruba, or Temne or Mende or Vambo or Vungundu, or Congo or Bangala, but they don't know.
There's freedom in knowing who you are. There's a certain type of peace that comes with it when you know who you are, where you're coming from, where you came from. There's this stability that a lot of people, I can say a lot of diasporas are in search of, because they're trying to understand who they are. They're trying to actually have that stability of their identity.
So what do? They look for a needle in a haystack through DNA. And that is what they are doing. It is an attempt at self-discovery, an attempt at discovery, but the impact is huge. Because even in those lands that you built, you are being discriminated against. This is how we must understand the activities of great African men who, in the early days, because of the impact of slavery, Marcus Mosiah Garvey was saying, let us go back where we came from, the Black Star Movement. Sylvester Williams on Trinidad and Tobago, let's go back where we came from. John Hendrick, let's go back where we came from. W.B. Du Bois, let us go where we came from. And much later, we begin to hear people such as Malcolm X and much more during that period, Martin Luther King Jr. In other words, the battle for self-discovery has never stopped. It has always been there, because when you lose touch with your spiritual anchors, the soul keeps on yearning for something. The soul of the African slave has never rested. It is still seeking to be attached to something. But the target is a moving target, sometimes even a mirage, yet the search continues.
It always continues. The search continues until you understand or you find solace, permanent place of where you're coming from. And as he said, DNA, a lot of people have been using DNA to actually track their roots of where they come from, or the countries right now where they come from, or the tribes.
And will continue. You know, in the United States, the movement for abolition, particularly when you talk about the abolition in the former colonies, started in earnest in the 19th century, in the 1860s, in the early 1860s. That is when you begin to see legislators in the United Kingdom, such as William Wilberforce, talking about freeing the slaves. And William Wilberforce, addressing the House of Commons, actually says that even when we free them, we should not give them freedom. We should train them on how to be free, because they have not known how to be free. In fact, Malcolm X said it a little while that when you've taught a man or a woman to go through the back door for too long, even when you open the front door, they'll still look for a back door. And if there is none, they'll create one. That is the movement in Europe, abolition. And there were people who did not want it abolished because it was lucrative. Banks such as Barclays Bank, which we know, are founded on the back of slavery. Lloyd's, which is one of the biggest insurance companies, was founded on the basis of slavery. And this is factual, you can prove it. They have apologized to the world. So the United States of America, which was a colony of Great Britain or the United Kingdom, also regains our independence, as we now know the Declaration of Independence in the 18th century. And one of the most amazing things about the American Declaration of
General Mosquito, you're asking Lloyds too. Hello, Mr. Blackwood Fire. How are you doing?
Independence is they start by saying, or they
What's
say
the
it in
airdrop?
many parts, it's supposed to be self-evident.
You're good? You're listening?
I'm good. I'm listening.
Alrighty.
That all men are born equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights.
Pause that. Pause that. Pause that. Pause that. Pause that. Not like what I just told Joby. That's nonsense. They don't believe in none of that. Don't believe. They like to make flowery words. Like, you understand? Why they don't believe none of that shit they write.
He hasn't finished.
Wait, don't care if he's finished. You know what he's talking about. I'm talking about facts on the ground. They don't believe in none that they're talking about. They write flowery words. That's the fool the indigenous people on the planet, and they knock you in the head. You go by their actions, not the stuff they say. Go ahead.
Happiness. And it's for this reason that governments are instituted amongst men. But when they say all men at that time, they don't mean women. They don't mean persons of color. And there is something that
That's what you're saying regarding when they say everybody's equal.
we don't talk about.
They don't believe in that. That's just some shit they write.
Yeah.
Just like they gave you that goofy Bible. They don't believe in none of that stuff. They gave it to you. That's political stuff. But the African takes it and believes it. No, they don't believe none of that shit.
It's called the Missouri Compromise, which was they came about in what is now the Missouri, and it talked about a black
free state,
complete man. So that in 1863, during the presidency of Abraham Lincoln, when he says that no country, no society can survive and thrive when there is one part is half slave and half free. Abraham Lincoln becomes the president of the United States of America who abolishes slavery.
He didn't abolish slavery. He didn't abolish slavery. I will let him keep going. He didn't abolish slavery. Go ahead.
When America is divided, Northern America has started to industrialize. So you go to places like Pittsburgh, you go to places in the north, the industrialization is already coming about. Southern America is still very agrarian. So America is divided. And when, of course, he announces the abolition of slavery, then America goes to civil war.
No. All right. America was already at civil war. He abolished slavery during the Civil War so you can have more blacks come along on his side and fight on the northern side. So you got to do, he's got that wrong. I mean, it's nothing bad. He's got that wrong. So all you got to do, every time to say, say when go to Google real quick and say, when was the Civil War started? It should say 1861. Look it up real quick. And when was the Civil War started? What year? The American Civil War.
(1861).
Okay, no. Okay, so now ask them when was okay, yeah. So now ask them when was the what year was the Emancipation Proclamation? You see, that was 1863. So the war had already started here. You say, so what year was the Emancipation Proclamation he's talking about? So he thinks that started the Civil War. It didn't. The Civil War was already started, 1861. So ask Google, say, what year was the Emancipation Proclamation?
1863.
Exactly. So he's got that wrong. See, his history messed up. So that didn't start the war era, Tom. War was already started. Okay, so what happened was, war was already started, and so they needed black people to fight to help them win because the country, at that time, England wanted to unite with the South. Okay, so you're talking about a house divided amongst itself cannot stand. So America was
Yeah.
divided. Most of the South, well, I mean, right now, the southern states had slavery. The northern states had finally got rid of slavery, but they were still wicked. But it wasn't legal no more up in the northern part of the United States. So for him to have to galvanize support amongst black people that are going to help the country from breaking up, because England wanted to break it up. France was, they all wanted to break up the United States and reclaim it. They wanted to, they wanted to break it up. So what he did, he said, okay, if you black people will fight, I will give freedom to you in the South. Remember, he really didn't have that right, because remember, the country was at civil war, so he couldn't free nobody in the South because we were at war with each other. But that was the proclamation he did to get the people that were in the South who were slaves to break free and start fighting the white man so they could win the country and the country wouldn't be broken up. It wasn't for the benefit of slavery. Abraham Lincoln was wicked. He said, I don't give a shit. I'd rather, if I could keep slavery, I would, he said. If I keep slavery, I would. Yeah, this is what he said. If I keep slavery, I would. And then if you're going to be free, I put white people over top of you. I don't believe you should be equal. Yeah, this is what you can find all that stuff on Google. Yeah, Abraham said, I believe black people should be on the bottom and white people should be on the top. And so I'm not freeing you to make you free. I'm writing this proclamation so I can keep the country irritated. He was trying to make sure America didn't break up. He's trying to keep it one whole country and win the war. So you got it, Airtime. Go ahead.
Look at him.
Or is about retention of slavery. The Southerners are saying this is our bread and butter. How can you possibly take it away from our mouths? So he's seen as an antagonist by those who supported slavery. Ultimately, of course, the Northerners or the federal government does win, and the slaves are freed, so to speak. But it is a journey.
It's because they understand, all these globalists, they understand they don't have any roots in regards to what identifies with them. No culture, no history, no identification of who they are. And that's why they will still continue to cripple Africa. Because as that lady said, or something we've been talking about every day, is the fact that we know who we are, the power, the understanding of our identity. That's where the fear starts from their end. Because when someone is super afraid of they're fearful of who you are, they'll do everything to stomp over you and remind you every day that you're nothing. But it's the other way around.
The fact that a pronouncement has been made that we have abolished slavery does not mean that slavery has ended. We still have individuals who are, if you are in prison, you've been a slave all your life and you are told to go. Where do you go? How do you start? You get used to that condition so that the so-called freedom becomes dangerous. But ultimately, at least at the level of the laws and at the level of politics, we know that slavery has been abolished in the United States of America. But the struggle continues.
Still there.
It is never lost on me that the slavery is abolished in...
Before I continue with Lumumba, it's still there. The system has been created not to work for the Africans Americans. Literally, it has been created not to work for them. There's a video here of something he's mentioning right away. I want to play it.
Black History Month you find ridiculous.
Why? You're going to relegate my history to a month? What do you do with yours? Which month is Black History Month?
Well, come on. Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay. Which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh. Why not? Do you want one?
No.
This is all, hold on, this is fake. This is the coon. See, let me get these actors. This is a coon. This is a fake. You don't understand. No, you don't understand what he's doing. No, you don't, Erica. Let me explain it to you.
It's not about the person who's talking about. It's about what he's saying.
What he's saying is wrong, Erica. That's what I'm trying to teach you. What he's saying is absolutely nonsense. That's why I say you don't understand. What he said is absolute nonsense, Airtime. They don't have to classify their history because every day is their history because they have control of everything. They don't have to classify their history or time because they have control of it. So everything we learn is their distorted lies of history. So there's no, so they don't have to classify it as white history because everything is white history. And this coon sitting there knows that, but he's trying to deflect because he's their puppet. You got to understand how things work here, Tom. You know, there's no good bastard here. There's no good bastard here. Tell you what day is yours? What day is every day is his. Every day is his time. All day. You don't have to say white history because all history is white. And your movies is white history. Everything is in your books is white. So us classifying a day was us taking a day out of everything being all white. So now he's saying we don't want none of that. So it means our history disappears again. So what he is a tool here at time. Because when we didn't have a Black History Month, which we fought for, you never got taught any Black history. We did not exist in any of their history books. There was no history being taught about Black people ever. Nowhere. So what is he talking about? He's fine with that? There was no Black about what day is your History Month? Well, we don't got one. Because every day is theirs, era time. Do you understand? In your history book in Kenya, it's all about white people. Not about you. Their history's every day. All day, 24 hours a day. While you have none. That was the purpose. So they use that coon right there to say, well, it shouldn't be a Black History Month. We should go back to when you didn't have no history at all. The only reason why you know about certain things in history is because we fought for Black history. White people never implemented any Black history in their studies, ever. They never implemented any Black histories in their studies, ever. So you didn't know who the hell you were or what the hell you've ever done. And that was on purpose. So what is he talking about? You know, what day is yours? Theirs is every damn day. Say what day is theirs is every day. Ours is the one that's not every day. Theirs is every day. So that's what I mean here. That's not what he's trying to say. That's why I'm yelling at you, trying to make you understand. That's not what he's trying to say. He's trying to justify the eraser of you, Eric. He's trying to erase you, but you're not sophisticated right now to understand what this is about. That coon, Morgan Freeman is a coon, Eric. These are no. I'm not going to tell you something. All right, that coon is trying to erase you from history completely. Your African identity. He's trying to say it's not supposed to be celebrated. He's telling you, well, what does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? What day is yours? He knows every goddamn day he grew up is white history. He knows that. So what is he talking about? He knows the reason why black people fought to get that date. Every time.
Yeah.
We fought to get acknowledged, to learn our history because it was never acknowledged. That's why black people didn't know their history. But go ahead, you got it.
Okay.
I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
Exactly. He don't want one. Sound crazy as hell, but they never gave us no history. If it's black history, if black history is American history, why was it never taught? Why it never been taught? Why is he not saying that here? Why was it never taught nowhere in school or anybody's books? Why is he not saying that?
Yeah, even in
because he's a bootlicking coon.
Rid of racism and stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman. Black History Month,
That's what Morgan Freeman says, but there's also another video that I want to share right away. Hope you're going to get it.
And Morgan Freeman's the same guy who was sleeping with his goddamn granddaughter, nasty, or his grandniece. We're going to listen to some dude who's been practicing incest every time.
Here we go.
say leave us alone. I also say leave us alone. The West can do, you can go to whatever suicidal path you are putting yourself on, but don't come and tell me what to do with my energy, my resources, and I don't care about your $100 billion of so-called climate aid when you're giving me a
Climate aid as the or the climate change has been a discussion. And for the past 2 weeks, it's been everywhere, literally.
giving me $100 billion in aid, asking me to sit on $12 trillion worth of oil and gas that's sitting under my soil. That is not a deal. So say leave us alone.
The African Development Bank estimates that Africa has $6.5 trillion conservative estimates worth of natural resources, and this figure encompasses a wide range of assets, including minerals, oil, gas, arable land, and other natural capital. And the mineral resources, which Africa holds approximately 30% of the world's mineral reserves, and some key mineral resources include 40% of the world's gold, up to 90% of the world's chromium and platinum, with significant reserves of cobalt, diamond, and uranium. As we understand right now, there's been war since at the Congo, name it Sudan, and the fact that there has to be war, it means if we're not at peace, they're developing. And that's why it might be a little bit hard to get a lot of Africans united and be at peace, because it means if we're together, have one common goal, it means we're actually a stronger force. But as we're going to move forward right away in regards to that, Michelle, how are you doing? Dear Mosquito. Michelle is saying Black History Month usually includes the Diary of Anne Frank, etc. And then she says, I had a Puerto Rican, like a son to me, complain that all the teacher taught was about the Holocaust that month.
Exactly. It's about exactly about them. Nothing about what's the Holocaust got to do with black people? Nothing. Exactly. So we're saying is unless you carve out a day and say this about us, they're never gonna talk about us ever. We're never gonna get acknowledged. So we didn't learn none of the things about our history until we had a Black History Month. You didn't learn anything about our inventions of who did what, who did when, because it's never in their history book ever. So what? So tell me what Black history about tell you about black people in Kenya, Airtime, and that you grew up knowing. When did you hear about the Moors at in Kenya, Airtime? Tell me when.
It's not in any of our books.
Oh, exactly, because white people write your book. That's right. So that's the reason why you got to define your own shit, because we never learned this in any of our history ever. So the idea to say, oh, it's just one history, that's a lie.
It's not. He said, what did he say? That it's an American history. Black history is American history. No.
Yeah, but it's never. But it's not, because it's never taught. Exactly, it's never taught, and that's why now in America they're erasing the Black history again, because they don't want it taught. They don't want it. They're erasing. They don't know what your history taught their time. See, when you don't know your history, you don't know who you are, and that's why they do it. They don't want you to know your history.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I'm gonna play that video of that lady again because she said it right away.
When white people came to Africa, they came showing themselves as superior to the black people.
Exactly.
Things that black people taught them. You know, what we don't have in our history books is that the civilization we have in Europe today was brought to us by black people.
Yeah, but in history,
don't know
exactly.
That. Even many black people don't know that. They don't know that the Moors, they were West Africans and North Africans and Central Africans that came to Europe and ruled Spain. They brought civilization to us. They showed us how to use soap, how to be clean, how to behave like a decent human being, you know? All these things we didn't know before the Moors brought civilization to Spain. Did you know that?
Why is that not in your regular history book, Eraton? Since he's saying history's all history. Why is that never in nobody's history book? Nowhere.
Even like a little bit out of it.
Not
Nothing.
in a little bit. Not in a little bit. Era time.
For you to kind of like your mind to open up. Nothing like
Yeah.
it. A little
Exactly.
bit.
Exactly. And he's in there talking about, I don't want a Black History Month. Then you wouldn't even know about the Moors then. That would can't. You learn that through Black history when Black people going back taking their history back. The white people never taught us none of that every time. So what is he talking about? No, sound crazy. But go ahead.
I wouldn't know about the Moors. I wouldn't know about Kemet. I wouldn't know about.
You wouldn't know about none of this. Exactly. And the stuff you would know, the stuff you would know, it would be whitewashed, and they would say that they were you. They would claim those. They like they now do now. They try to claim the Moors were white, and ancient Egyptians were white. Crazy.
In Spain for 700 years. Where is that in our history books? It's nowhere to be found. Because
exactly.
If you are giving Black people that power of having once ruled over white people, wouldn't Black people start like kind of questioning, oh, we were once at that point of having such a power in a white man's country over white people, and where are we now? So of course they have to hide that history from you people, because knowing your true history is knowing your true power, and knowing your true power means you will break out from that system of racism.
Yes, she said it right. She said it right. And I know there's somebody who's definitely going to watch that and still not believe in themselves. For sure. For sure. But it's almost
they never learned that history. So how do you unlearn a lie every time? So again, how do you unlearn a lie?
Right.
That's why your history is important.
It is
important.
Very important. Very, very pivotal.
And they know that. And they know that. That's why they want to colonize your history. That's why he's telling you. That's why you got that coon up there telling me you should know. I don't want a Black History Month. Well, why not? You wouldn't know who the fuck you were. What are you talking about? You know?
A lot of people, a lot of Africans will never know where they came from. They wouldn't know who they are, their identity. They wouldn't know anything at all. Listening to this lady, she's about Africans and Africans.
Kenya racist. And I tell them, yes, it is. And Kenya is racist because it discriminates against its own.
Yeah, that's why I sent you.
And I am so very aware that
she knows that.
Exactly. I am privileged. I am so aware that I get favors. I'm so aware that there are things I was able to achieve simply because of the color of my skin.
And here's the thing that you're saying. It's not by people with the same skin color as you.
No.
It is Kenyans, blacks,
yes,
being prejudiced to their own.
Yes.
And choosing somebody else because in their minds, they believe that person is better because of their skin color.
Correct.
Exactly.
That is the height of the effect of colonialism.
Absolutely.
That is the epitome of it, where you think you're lesser than other people. You yourself believe somebody else is better on no other basis but on the skin color.
Yes.
Wow.
And so I was clearly aware that I was not the best candidate for that position. I just knew it's because they need somebody who looks like me. And you're racist.
Look at that. Look at that. That's what's happening. And also, that's why it's definitely important. That's why it is important to know our history. That's why our history is so much important, family. We have to definitely be intentional about knowing our history, digging deeper about who we are, about what we stand for, about what identifies with who we are, and also the reasons why our history was hidden away from us. We definitely know that. So it's so pivotal for you to know your history. It's so important because it's an everyday thing. It's in the political, social, economic world. It's your everyday life. It's what is ruling you, the system that are literally around you. So if you don't know who you are, if you don't know your history, you're going to be controlled by everything that is being fed to you and about you, which is not true. I don't know what's your last take, Mr. Newsom.
Well, if you don't know your history, you don't know your art. So that takes away your power, your glory. What have you ever done? So when the people erase you from history, as the Europeans have done or continue to do, they put a false narrative of who you are. That causes, like she said, it causes you to doubt yourself. It causes you not to have confidence in yourself. It also causes you to worship other people. So they give you fake history, then they give you fake religion. So that's dangerous. So it will cause you not to have confidence in yourself. And that's what she's talking about. And that's on purpose. Because I can conquer you. And with me conquering you, that means I get to steal all your resources and make me rich and keep you poor and keep you as a servant. Because you believe that it's supposed to be a servant.
It's a fact, but we're literally going to have family with that. That was Echoes of Africa, more about our identity, and also we talked more about our history. Our history is super important, most importantly. But remember to download our app on the Google Play Store, stream on www.blackhotfire Radio Network for amazing healthy supplements. Apparel clothing with the Black Radio logo on it. I'm going to play a short video of some of the supplements we do have for you to get a hint of what we are definitely hooking you up this beautiful afternoon.
Discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
$23.90. So scratch what Morgan Freeman said, because Black History Month is super important. Super important. But have a beautiful week. We are basically stepping into April. I hope it's going to be so much full of rainbows and pixels and laughter and joy and peace. And remember, you are the change you need to see in the world. Black History Month is important. Black history is important. And your history is important. As Nation says, it gives you a sense of pride and confidence to walk into this world as the queen and the goddess that you are. Much love. I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care.
Love. That's the reason why it's important. My last word, the reason why it's important. That's why every time we got to do all this research to recover our history. That's why it's important. Why should I have to do all this work to recover what my people did?
Right. Facts. Okay, family, have a good one. Take care. We're going to see you on the next show. Remember to follow us on other social media platform and download our app.
You're now listening to the best music hour of the hottest tracks and coolest mashups of the moment.
Baby.